What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Just had to get a drink from my coldest water bottle, which is the official sponsor of this video. If you guys are looking for the best water bottle that keeps your water cold for more than 24 hours, this is the water bottle to get. I'll leave a link in the description below where you guys can purchase this, as well as get a discount. About coldestwaterbottle.com, highly recommend it. So today's video, what I want to talk to you guys about is the Great Statue Purge. So when you're a collector like me, meaning you have 250 plus statues, like I haven't counted in quite some time, but at one point I was 400 statues. For a single dude, that is a lot of freaking statues. I mean, these things are not cheap. They take up a ton of space, not only in my basement, but in my garage, my under the stairs, like box space. And it can be extremely overwhelming. I mean, yes, it's awesome getting a statue almost weekly, opening them, seeing how cool they look, seeing the art is just amazing. But every few years, or almost once a year, you do have to go through a statue purge where you have to sell a bunch of stuff, because eventually you get to the point where, like, in my situation, I was barely able to walk without bumping into things. The rooms felt tighter and tighter, and the displays felt tighter and more cluttered. It just gets to the point where I have to do a purge. A lot of people are asking, what's going on? You're selling so many statues. What the fuck? So I sold 33 statues in the last 5 days. My entire Dragon Ball Z 1/6 collection, actually as of this video, Gotenks is not sold, but I expect him to sell sometime today. I actually sold Dragon Fist, Exceed, F4 Goku vs. Vegeta. And those two, when I first got them, were two of my favorite Dragon Ball Z statues at the time. They blew my mind. They were grails. I thought I'd keep them till the day I die. However, ever since I've started collecting KD statues, and Prime 1 Goku is really just what kind of did it for me. Prime 1 Goku is the perfect Goku statue. Its sculpt, paint app, concept is unrivaled by every other Goku statue out there. And it ruined Dragon Fist for me personally. It just, the sculpt, the paint app, everything is just so much better. That it just far surpassed it, and it just didn't look, Dragon Fist looked outdated. And Goku vs. Vegeta is a great statue, but it's so darn big. It's like a 25-inch diameter base. It takes up so much space, and the sculpt is just so much different than your typical KD statue that it just looks out of place. It's like, what the heck? All these are like extremely finely detailed with really good texture work, vibrant paint jobs, matching underbases. They look amazing. KD's done such a good job with the Dragon Ball Z statues, and when you throw that Exceed or like an MRC statue next to it, they just don't pair good. I feel like you need to pair companies with their statues. It just looks better. Pairing KD statues together looks better than a KD with a different brand. Sometimes you can pair them and they do look good. Like Prime 1 Goku pairs very good with KD Goku bust. I would say even better than KD Goku does. Although KD Goku does have the same orange and yellow and blue, but this is just bigger, and I think it just looks better with it. For example. But yeah, Goku vs. Vegeta was definitely a hard one to sell because I do love it so much, but it's so massive and cool being a diorama. But I do think it was for the best. I really pondered this for the last 48 hours, honestly. Should I sell this? Because I remember when I first got it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite DBZ statue. But, of course, we got Sume Broly, which surpassed it. Prime 1 Goku, which surpassed it. Even like Vegeta Final Flash, I would say I like more. Even though it's a lot like simpler, just that scene is so epic and memorable for me. And KD did such a good job with that statue. That this is the direction I'm leaning towards is, less the more definite version of that character. Like for the long hair Trunks, the KD Trunks is the best. And for right now, Infinity Trunks is the best short hair Trunks. I like it more than even Soul Wing. And Piccolo, I don't think will ever be topped. You know, Sume Broly is the Broly to beat. Prime 1 Goku's the best Goku ever made. And Prime 1 Vegeta will be the best Vegeta for Saiyan armor. For Majin, you know, that's still up for grabs. As of right now, I still think it's Sume, but let's see how KD is. There's a few things I like better about KD and a few things I like better about Sume. At the end of the day, I think Sume is still king. Even when Vegeta by KD is released, I still think this will top it. However, KD's will match better with Buu than this one. Even though this will match still very good, it's just not a perfect pair like KD is with the same underbase and, you know, whatnot. But for me personally, I do have to go through these statue purges. It, one, helps declutter the collection, get me back on track of what I need this collection to be. You know, a classy, well-displayed collection with just really high-end pieces, because the best collections out there are not the ones with the most statues. It's the ones that are most well displayed with the highest quality, and that's what I want my collection to be. I do not think if I have 1,000 statues I have the best collection in the world. Not by any means. You could have someone with 30 statues that looks better. You know, I've seen someone's collection, not naming names, but they had probably 300 Dragon Ball Z statues in a room like this. And there was just statues covering other statues, and you couldn't see anything. And I'm like, what the heck am I looking at? It just looks like someone's storage unit and they threw a bunch of toys. It didn't look great at all. You know, covering so many statues, they're just hoarders. It doesn't look good to me. So, you know, I definitely don't like a display where it's just like, let's just say just Prime 1 Goku on an entire garage shelf. I think that also looks bad. I think you need a fine line of filling the display, but also, you know, given sufficient space for everything. You know, like that is as tight as I want that display to be. Any tighter, and it'd be just too much. You know, it's almost even too tight, but I think it's just right. You know, and like this looks really good. Same with all these displays. I'm really digging how all they look. So at the end of the day, I think a statue purge is necessary when you're at my caliber of collecting, or even, you know, 75 statues. Sometimes it's good to just purge and maybe just start over, refresh the whole hobby for yourself. If you've been collecting comic book and maybe you get sick of comic book after 5 years and you want to go, you know, high quality movie, because at the end of the day, movie statues are higher quality than comic based. Maybe you purge all your comic and start doing silica movie statues. You know, I've seen some collectors start doing that now because they're like, comic can only get so detailed, where movie, you get silicone. That stuff is freaky realistic. I mean, look at that Bruce Lee. Looks like a real human. You can't get better than that. So, you know, that's one reason I love movies so much. Plus, I never grew up reading comics or watching really comic-based, you know, cartoons. I've watched them as an adult, but as a child I didn't, so it's not nostalgic for me. It's not something I'd look to collect. But in addition, I also purge statues because I have a lot of expensive pre-orders. I decided to pre-order the J&D girls. That was $8,500. So I needed that money to come from somewhere. You know, I'm at the point where my collection is funding my pre-orders. So I had to purge DBZ to fund J&D. You know, after everything I just purged, I just funded J&D Harley, J&D Mera, Jetwing Optimus, Megatron, Kong Bust, and what was the other one is funding? Let me think. Yeah, more or less like Nazgul and Berserker Urukai. You know, pretty much all the big, and Infinity Joker Bust. All the big wig, heavy ticket priced items that are shipping in the next, you know, 3 to 4 months, those needed to be funded. So this is funding that, and it's making my collection look better. It's refreshing this room, making me be able to walk around and see everything just much, much better, you know. So I think it was well worth it, and in the future I may purge again. We'll see. You know, maybe one of my other rooms I feel like everything's just too tight, and I'm like, you know what? We need to do a mass sell-off again. And I'm the type of person that generally, I don't like just selling like one statue. I generally like to sell lines. I think that's, you know, because I like everything in lines. So if I started to sell one statue from a line, I'm pretty much going to sell that entire line at that point. I don't like splitting up lines. The only occasional thing is if I have a few one-offs, then I'd sell them. But yeah, for me, the 1/6 was a line, sold Dragon Fist, and basically that entire top row was a line. And I sold all of it but the, you know, the Vegeta and the Vegeta bust. So we still do have a few statues for sale that I just wanted to update you guys. 400 shipped, 250 shipped. Those two are for sale. And as of the filming of this video, I'm still searching for the box, but the Indoraptor is for sale. And if someone wants to just buy blue and Indoraptor for, let's just call it 2,000 shipped US, I'll do it. Frieza Form 1, someone just was paying for him. I still have Gotenks left. Indiana Jones is sold on payment plan. And we got one. I'm probably just going to keep Vader. Jack is on payment plan, but Achilles is still available. ARH Achilles, he does come with a swap out spear. So he's 500 shipped US. So yeah, in general, most of my statue rooms, I need to have a big open space I can walk around freely like this to be able to go and do stuff. You know, ideally, I would wish not to even have that, but I know I need it space-wise, so I'm keeping it there. But it's not like this is super tight, and I can still walk, I can still see this and everything. So, you know, in a perfect world, I wouldn't have any statues here, but obviously I want a Jurassic line, and it's worth the tightness of that room to sacrifice it. This room, we have a pretty big open space here, enough to work out and view all statues in this room quite well. So as long as I don't go beyond my pre-orders, this room will be completed and look fantastic. So I don't think I'll go beyond my pre-orders, well, outside of updating Sauron and Gandalf to P1, that's about it. But yeah, that is what I wanted to go over with you guys and talk about, you know, these statue purges, why they happen. You know, some people think one thing, others think another thing. I just wanted to, you know, let you guys know this is a necessary thing for my collection when you have this many statues, and I'm trying not to input new money, too much new money into this hobby. I'm trying to just recycle this, you know, the hobby more or less. You know, I got so many statues that I shouldn't be putting more money. I've already put hundreds of thousands of dollars into this hobby. I don't need to put more money outside of like my YouTube revenue, you know, affiliate money from you guys buying statues, like that type of stuff I do put towards the hobby. So I do appreciate anytime you guys use my link, because it does help. But yeah, that is it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.